Theater criticism. This is Thursday. Going to the movies. I'm going to watching a Chilean movie, a national movie from an actress. Maybe she died. I'm going to check it out. Maybe she died. Delfina Guzman. I'm going to check it out right now. I don't know where's the information. Look, it's hard to find. Oh no, she's alive. She's alive. She has born April 7th. She's Aries, and right now she is 96 years old. Why? Maybe she had a problem, a health problem. She's talking about death. She is acting actually. She made a monologue, a Shakespeare monologue, a Hamlet monologue, I guess. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to watch a movie from her. I'm pretty good in time. And we are listening Soda Stereo, one of the biggest bands in history. You know, I'm happy. I'm going to read the top 5 from the highlights. Cgtn, top 5 from the highlights. Cgtn newsletter from China. Politics, March 11, 2025. China's national legislature concludes annual session. What a beautiful Congress, look. What a huge rectangle, and there's a legend here, a text explaining the photograph. The closing meeting of the third session of the 14th National People's Congress is held at the Great Hall of the People in Beijing, China. The 14th National People's Congress and NPC, China's top legislature, concluded its third session on Thursday. Chinese President Xi Jinping and other leaders attend the closing meeting of the session at the Great Hall of the People in Beijing. Entrusted by Chao Leji, executive chairman of the Presidium, Li Hongshong presided over the meeting. And there's the photograph. The closing meeting of the third session of the 14th National People's Congress is held at the Great Hall of the People in Beijing, China. Anyway, lawmakers approved the government work report and the work reports of the NPC Standing Committee, the Supreme People's Court, and the Supreme People's Procuratorate. They adopt a decision to arm the law to amend the law on deputies to the National People's Congress and to the local people's congresses at various levels, and adopt a resolution on the implementation of the 2024 Plan for National Economic and Social Development and the 2025 Plan for National Economic and Social Development, as well as the 2025 Plan. They also approve a report on the execution of the central and local budgets for 2024 and on the draft central and local budgets for 2025, and approve the central budget for 2025. So this is absolutely institutional news. This is like well, you know, back in Brazil there is a radio show, a radio podcast that comes since the dictatorship, since 50 I don't know how many times, since democracies, I don't know where, 50 years ago. It calls A Voz do Brasil. A Voz do Brasil is just like this. It's just a newsletter from Brazil saying what the hell the government approved, the Congress approved, resolutions, and so on. It's fascinating. Addressing the meeting, Lee said that the annual session has successfully completed its agenda. The outcomes of the session have demonstrated the significant political advantages of the People's Congress system, he said, noting that this year marks the final lap for implementing China's 14th five-year plan, 2021-2025. Lee urged lawmakers to stay true to the general principle of pursuing progress while ensuring stability, so as to complete the objectives and tasks of the 14th five-year plan with high quality, and lay a solid foundation for the 15th five-year plan, 2026-2030. Lawmakers should act in the line with the people-centered philosophy of the development and develop whole process people's democracy, he added. Quote, unity is strength, struggle creates history, hard work makes a bright future, Lee said, calling on lawmakers to stay united and work harder to make further progress in building a great country and advancing national rejuvenation on all fronts through Chinese modernization. Yeah, I bet China will achieve it, thanks to Karl Marx. And there's another one. In ecological news, Nature, March 11, 2025, NPC deputies, CPPCC members advocate for ecological protection. Ecological protection remains a hot topic at the two sessions. Members of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, CPPCC, Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference. This is like an assembly. And deputies to the National People's Congress, NPC, put forward numerous suggestions to advance China's ecological conservation efforts. The third session of the 14th CPPCC National Committee, which concluded on Monday, received 604 proposals related to ecological civilization, accounting for 12.1% of all proposals submitted. And there's a photograph, the Yellow River Wetland Provincial Nature Reserve in Weinan City, Shaanxi Province, Northwest China. Jin Qi, a CPPCC member and researcher at the Ningxia Academy of Agricultural and Forestry Sciences, emphasized the urgent need to enhance farmland shelter belt networks in the Yellow River Square Bend region. He highlighted that scientific planning, integration. Just 1 second. I lost myself. He highlighted that scientific planning. Jiang Qi, a CPPCC member and researcher at the Ningxia Academy of Agricultural and Forestry Sciences, emphasized the urgent need to enhance farmland shelter belt networks in the Yellow River Square Bend region. He highlighted that scientific planning, integration with agricultural modernization initiatives, and the application of new technologies and management models will help establish a more resilient and diverse shelter belt system. And there's photographs. Photos from the shelter belts in Cgtn'S National Nature Reserve in Lingwu City, Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region, Northwest China. In 2024, key projects were launched in Northwest China's Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region, including ecological conservation, soil erosion control, water source conservation, and ecological management along the eastern foothills of the Highligths Mountains. I had some trouble there. Of the Highligths Mountains. So far, nearly 230,000 hectares of land have been restored across the region. For Yang Qinglong, an NPC deputy and mayor of Guyuan City in Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region, strengthening support for the Tree North Shelter Belt program is crucial. He processed expanding national afforestation and scent control policies to the region while also incorporating Guyuan into the National Reserve Forest Development Plan. Such measures, he noted, will improve forest stability and quality in the Liupan Mountains and bolster regional ecological security. I definitely want. I'm thinking about a region in China with a lot of horses and dogs in order to live there. And there's a photograph, the Emerald Lake, also known as Feikui Lake, in Haichi Mongolian and Tibetan Autonomous Prefecture in Qinghai Province. The need for stronger desertification control in the Kaidam Basin has also emphasized, with call for scientific methods tailored to local ecological conditions, acceleration of key ecological projects, and the development of diversified financing mechanisms to attract investment in scent control initiatives. Additionally, integrating solar energy development with desertification control was highlighted as a way to foster a green development model. Qiao Yokun, an NPC deputy and governor of Haichi Mongolian and Tibetan Autonomous Prefecture in Northwest China's Qinghai Province, stressed that combining ecological restoration with clean energy expansion will contribute to long-term sustainability. The photograph is the cover photograph is the Yellow River in Gannan, Tibetan Autonomous Prefecture, Gansu Province, Northwest China, August 7. There's a beautiful Chinese woman here. Look. She's a deputy. Oh, call me, baby. Who is her name? Her name is Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao. Well, I guess there's a lot of Chinese beautiful women around the world. Just see the next one. I'm not going to read this. China voices support for peaceful settlement of Ukraine crisis. I guess China is also want a peaceful settlement of Palestine crisis. Another news: UN shift time for world to deliver on promise of Beijing declaration. There's a declaration of Beijing. And the last one, US Ukraine begin talks on Ukraine crisis in Saudi Arabia. Oh, I'm going to read the Beijing declaration. Top 5 from the highlights. Oh, this is a huge news, but I have time. World, March 11, UN chief time for world to deliver on compromise, on promise of Beijing declaration. Now is the time for the world to accelerate progress in gender equality and deliver on the promise of the landmark Beijing Declaration and platform for action as countries mark its 13th anniversary. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said on Monday, addressing the opening of the Commission of the Status of Women, CSW. The UN chief said 3 decades since the adoption of the groundbreaking global agreement and the 4 World Conference on Women held in Beijing, women's rights are under siege, end quote. Age-old horrors like violence, discrimination and economic inequality are rife, and the gender pay gap still stands at 20%. Globally, almost 1 in 3 women have been subject to violence, Guterres said, adding that new technologies, including artificial intelligence, are creating the conditions to allow new platforms for violence and abuse, normalizing misogyny and online revenge. I don't get it. Are creating the conditions to allow a new platform for violence and abuse, normalizing misogyny and online revenge. Online porn revenge. The UN chief emphasized that equality for women and girls is a human right and a matter of justice and the foundation of sustainable development and lasting peace. Quote, now is the time for those of us who care about equality for women and girls to stand up and to speak out. Now is the time for the world to accelerate progress and deliver on the promise of Beijing, Guterres said. Yeah, this is not so interesting, because it's the UN. So I prefer Mao Zedong over the UN.